Number 1. Based on the illustration, what is the density of the cube? A. 432.2 grams per milliliters. B. 43 grams per milliliters. C. 10.05 grams per milliliters. Or D. 8.65 grams per milliliters. Number 2. Which of these parts of an atom is the largest? F. Electron. G. Neutron. H. Nucleus. Or J. Proton. Number 3. Which of these parts of an atom is the smallest? A. Electron. B. Neutron. C. Nucleus. Or D. Proton. Number 4. Structures A and B are located in the F. Valence shell. G. Electron cloud. H. Energy level. Or J. Nucleus. Number 5. The 3 vehicles shown below are all traveling at a speed of 15 meters per second, but only the pickup truck has changed velocity. The pickup truck has a changing velocity because the pickup truck, A, can accelerate faster than the other 2 vehicles. B, is traveling in the opposite direction from the other 2 vehicles. C, is traveling on the curve in the road. Or D, needs a large amount of force to move. Number 6. A high school baseball team in Dallas travels south to Austin to participate in a tournament. The trip from Dallas to Austin is about 322 kilometers. The trip requires about 3.5 hours to complete on a school bus. Which of the following best represents the velocity of the bus? F. 92 kilometers an hour. G. 92 kilometers per hour south. H. 112.7 kilometers per hour. Or J. 112.7 kilometers per hour south. Number 7. 2 students are performing an experiment where they roll a golf ball down a shallow ramp that runs along the back of a wall of their classroom. The ramp rests on a small stack of 4 textbooks on the high end. The bottom end rests on the floor. The ramp is about 6 meters in total length. The students start the ball at rest from the top, upper third, middle, and lower third of the ramp. They measure the time required for the ball to reach the bottom of the ramp after it is released. They calculate the speed of the ball at different points on the ramp. Their data is remarkably consistent from trial to trial. The summary of the ball's speed at various points on the ramp is shown in the chart below. Which of these conclusions are best supported by the data represented here? A. The ball experiences equal increases in speed in equal amounts of time as it rolls down the ramp. B. The ball maintains a constant speed as it rolls down the ramp. C. The ball experiences greater increases in speed in equal amounts of time as it rolls down the ramp. D. The ball experiences lessening increases in speed in equal amounts of time as it rolls down the ramp. Number 8. The diagram below shows a boat moving north in a river at 3 meters per second, while the current in the river moves south at 1 meter per second. How will the boat be affected if it enters a part of the river where the current is moving south at 2 meters per second? F. The boat will move slower. G. The boat will move faster. H. The boat will stop. Or J. The boat will move to the west. Number 9. For an investigation, a student measures the speed of a cart as it rolls down a ramp. The student then records data in the table below. Which of these best explains the student's data? A. The speed of the cart decreases as the cart rolls down the ramp because of friction between the cart and the ramp. B, the speed of the cart increases as the cart rolls down the ramp because the force acting on the cart is greater than the force of gravity. C, the speed of the cart increases as the cart rolls down the ramp because the forces acting on the cart are unbalanced. Or D, the speed of the cart decreases as the cart rolls down the ramp because the forces acting on the cart are balanced. For 10. When an object is acted on by unbalanced forces, the object will F, continue in the same direction, G, continue at the same speed, H, accelerate, or J, come to a stop. Number 11, in the diagrams below, two forces are exerted on an object. The forces are represented by arrows. The length of the arrow indicates the magnitude of the force. In which of the diagrams will the motion of the object remain unchanged? Number 12. A student slides a book across a desk by giving it an initial push. Which of the following is the most important reason that the book eventually comes to a stop instead of continuing to slide? F, the initial force was too weak to keep the book in motion. G, the mass of the book was not enough to keep the book in motion. H, the force that occurs when the book rubs against the desk stops the book. J, the magnetic force from the earth stops the book. For 13, the figure above shows two equal forces acting on a ball. The ball is seen from above. In which direction will the ball roll? A, southwest, B, southeast, C, northeast, or D, northwest? Number 14. Forces that act on objects can affect their speed and direction. A car is traveling down the street in the direction A. Which of the forces shown in the figure above would affect only the speed of the car? 15. Joe pushes a box with a force of 16 newtons to the left and pushes the same box from the opposite side with a force of 10 newtons to the right. What will be the result? A, the box will move up because of the combined forces of 26 newtons. B, the box will not move because 6 newtons is not enough to move it. C, the box will move to the left because of the net force of 6 newtons. Or D, the box will move to the right. Number 16, how are speed and velocity different? F, speed includes direction. G, speed indicates momentum. H, velocity includes momentum. Or J, velocity includes direction. 17. In order for an object such as a communication satellite to maintain a constant orbit around the Earth, what must be true? The forward motion of the satellite must A, vary slightly due to the tilt of the Earth's axis. B, be greater than the Earth's rotational speed. C, constantly overcome frictional forces. Or D, be in balance with the Earth's gravitational pull. Number 18. Jason was designing an experiment to see how fast a toy car could travel down a ramp. Which changes would result in the car traveling faster? F, decrease the angle of the ramp, increase the mass of the car, and increase the traction between the car's tires and the surface of the ramp by adding sandpaper to the ramp. G, increase the angle of the ramp, reduce the mass of the car, decrease the friction between the car's tires and the surface of the ramp by spraying cooking oil on the ramp. H, decrease the angle of the ramp, reduce the mass of the car, increase the traction between the car's tires and the surface of the ramp by adding sandpaper to the ramp. Or J, increase the angle of the ramp, increase the mass of the car, and decrease the friction between the car's tires and the surface of the ramp by spraying cooking oil on the ramp. Number 19. Alex places 2 cubes side by side on a ramp made of wood. Cube 1 is ice and cube 2 is wood wrapped with sandpaper. The cubes are the same size and the same mass and are placed at the same height on the ramp. When Alex released the 2 cubes, the ice cube slid down the ramp. But the sandpaper cube did not move. What accounts for this difference? A. The ice cube moved because the forces of friction and gravity were balanced. B. The sandpaper block did not move because the forces of friction and gravity were balanced. C. The ice cube moved because the ice and ramp did not produce any friction, which resulted in balance. Or D. The sandpaper block did not move because the forces of friction and gravity were balanced. Number 20. What object's motion would most likely be represented by the graph? F. The rotation of the moon around the earth. G. The movement of a football being thrown down the field. H. An airplane touching down on a runway. Or J. The movement of a car at the start of a race. 21. What is the speed of the object represented by the graph? A. 0.5 meters per second. B. 2 meters per second. C. 5 meters per second. Or D. 10 meters per second. Number 22. Which set of coefficients would balance the following equation? 23. Which of the sets of numbers below would provide the correct coefficients in order from left to right to balance the chemical reaction shown above? Number 24. During an experiment, a student mixes 2 dry, water-soluble chemicals in a 250 milliliters of water. The water has a mass of 250 grams. The combined mass of the water and the dry chemicals is 325 grams. When the chemicals are mixed and stirred vigorously, a reaction occurs and a solid white precipitate collects in the bottom of the beaker. The resulting white powder is filtered from the remaining liquid and dried out in an evaporating oven. The student measures the mass of now dry white powder and finds it to be exactly 46.7 grams. What was the mass of the remaining liquid and chemicals lost during the filtering and evaporation? F, 75 grams, G, 221.7 grams, H, 250 grams, or J, 278.3 grams. Which of the following equations follows the law of conservation of mass? A, 2Fe plus 3O2 yields Fe2O3. B, H2 plus O2 yields 2OH. C, 2Mg plus Cl yields MgCl2. Or D, CH4 plus 3O2 yields 2CO2 plus 2H2O. 26. During an investigation, a student combined the 2 clear, colorless solutions shown below. Solution 1, compound A dissolved in water at 25 degrees Celsius. Solution 2, compound B dissolved in water at 25 degrees Celsius. The student observed that the temperature changed from 25 degrees Celsius to 23 degrees Celsius when the solutions were combined, and that a white substance rapidly formed and settled at the bottom of the container. What most likely happened to produce these results? F, one of the original compounds came out of the solution. G, the solutions reacted chemically. H, some of the water froze into ice crystals. Or J, rapid evaporation of water occurred, leaving a solid. 27. A scientist spilled a few drops of dilute hydrochloric acid on a lab table. For safety purposes, the scientist sprinkled some baking soda onto the spill. Which observation would provide the best evidence that a chemical reaction occurred? A, the baking soda and the hydrochloric acid combined and bubbles formed. B, the baking soda absorbed the hydrochloric acid. C, some of the baking soda dissolved in the hydrochloric acid. Or D, the hydrochloric acid evaporated, leaving only the baking soda. 28. Red cabbage contains a water-soluble pigment that can be useful as a tool for detecting the pH of a solution. Students collected the following data using red cabbage as an indicator pH for the different solutions. Okay, the chart above is the pH is 2, the color is red. If the pH is 4, the color is purple. For 6, it's violet, 8 is blue, 10 is blue-green, and 12 is greenish-yellow. Using the pH chart, which of the solutions tested by the students is most likely to have a very high pH value? Number 29, hydrogen peroxide is a substance often used to disinfect wounds or cuts. Its chemical formula is H2O2. What is the ratio of hydrogen atoms to oxygen atoms? A, 2 to 1, B, 1 to 1, C, 1 to 2, or D, 2 to 4. Number 30, which of the following demonstrates that a new substance can be formed during a chemical reaction? F, milk souring, G, water evaporating, H, iron bending, J, helium-filled balloon floating. 31, which of the following best describes a chemical reaction? A, a compound is crushed into a fine powder. B, atoms break apart into even smaller particles. C, existing electron bonds break and reattach to other atoms. Or D, molecules move faster until they fly apart from each other. Which of the following is one way that compounds are formed? F, joining nuclei between atoms. G, changing matter to other states. H, sharing electrons between atoms. Or J, changing elements to other elements. 33. Which of the following equations demonstrates an actual chemical reaction that forms a new substance? 34. A student mixes two solutions planning to produce a chemical reaction. Which of the following is not evidence that a chemical reaction is happening? F, color change, G, odor change, H, temperature change, or J, no observable change. 35. A student placed 2 grams of baking soda in a balloon and 100 milliliters of vinegar in a flask, Erlenmeyer flask. After stretching the opening of the balloon across the neck of the flask, the student raised it to dump the baking soda into the flask. He immediately observed foaming bubbles in the flask and the balloon began to expand. The student concluded that A, a physical change only was occurring, B, the bubbles indicated a chemical change was occurring, C, the baking soda and vinegar were products of a chemical reaction, or D, the gas was oxygen. Six, Drew added yeast and sugar to lukewarm water and placed it in a flask. He stretched a balloon over the opening of the flask. After several minutes, he noticed small bubbles rising along the side of the flask as the balloon slowly began to inflate. Drew concluded that F, a physical change was occurring. G, the bubbles indicated chemical change. H, the water, sugar, and yeast were products of the chemical reaction. Or J, the strong smell was evidence of a physical change. 37. A model of an atom is shown below. An atom of which element is represented by this model? A, boron, B, carbon, C, neon, or D, sodium. 38. Which of these atoms is electrically neutral? 39. Which of these atoms has the most mass? A, indium, B, tin, C, iridium, or D, iodine. Number 40. An atom has 25 protons, 30 neutrons, and 25 electrons. What is the charge of the atom's nucleus? Number 41. How many valence electrons does a neutral atom with 15 protons have? Record your answer and fill in the bubbles on your answer document. Be sure to use the correct place value. And 42. Which Bohr model represents boron? 43. Which of these make up the mass of an atom? A, neutrons and electrons, B, protons and electrons, C, electrons and energy levels, or D, protons and neutrons.